Welcome to this Track 180 exclusive. The internal combustion engine has been around for hundreds of years, and every day we get into our cars and start its engine, we're driving a piece of history. But could all of that be about to change? As one American company called Scuderi Group claimed to have reinvented the internal combustion engine to make it more efficient and more environmentally friendly. And they claim it won't just stop at car engines. On your website, you actually claimed that this Scuderi engine potentially could do more for diesel by way of efficiency, which is an interesting comment because diesel by its nature is quite efficient anyway. So what exactly do you mean by that? How are you going to improve diesel?
Well, you're absolutely correct. Diesel engines are about the most efficient mechanical device out there. Where our engine gains significantly against the diesel is actually in the emissions end, and the biggest emission gain that we have is in the NOx, or that nitrogen oxide that we mentioned earlier. What's happening in the diesel world is that they're being forced to go to some very expensive and very heavy exhaust treatment systems called selective catalytic reduction systems. They're also, in combination with that, forced to go to a process known as exhaust gas recirculation. Both of those systems add cost, add weight, and actually degrade the performance of the engine because it increases the back pressure on the engine itself.
As much as 30%.
So our engine, because of its process of firing after top dead center, drives down that NOx emission by about 80 to 85%. And this is without the process of exhaust gas recirculation, so it eliminates the exhaust gas recirculation. And as far as the selective catalytic reduction system, we believe it's going to drastically reduce that piece as well. So you're going to reduce weight, you're going to reduce cost, and you're not going to degrade the performance of the engine. So your overall efficiency of your vehicle is going to be maintained to be fairly high. Then, in addition to that, because of the simplicity of our split arrangement, where we can convert this engine into an air hybrid, we can easily take a very large vehicle and give it the ability to capture energy and reuse it, hence gaining on efficiency again. Very, very difficult to do that with an electric hybrid. The batteries just become enormously large and heavy for a large truck. Our system, because of its what we like to call elegant simplicity, are able to accomplish all of these things very cost effectively, even on a very large diesel situation.
One of the specific applications that we think this engine has tremendous potential with is in a bus. Buses are used for mass transportation on a worldwide basis. In some countries it is the primary mass transportation vehicle. And buses are, by virtue of the fact, especially when they're using in the cities, they're stop and go, stop and go. And as I said earlier, we're recycling the momentum energy of the car. That's perfect for a stop-go bus in city traffic.
Let me just be clear then. Stop-start driving, or urban driving as it's referred to, are you saying then effectively the engine is better and will help to reduce, obviously it's going to reduce emissions, it's going to be a better thing for urban driving, because this is when you normally see the miles per gallon coming down in a vehicle.
That's true.
So you're saying that this is a perfect engine for the city driver.
Our gasoline engine tends to run more like a diesel engine, where unlike a normal gasoline engine, when you are running on part load, which is you don't need the full power of the engine. And in a typical case, that's when you're cruising on the highway, you don't need the full power of the engine. Well, when you throttle a normal gasoline engine, the efficiency levels drop significantly. And what happens to an electric hybrid is you get up on the highway, you can't use the electric system because you're not doing stop-start. So the entire electric system becomes an extra burden in terms of weight. The engine itself now gets throttled because you're running on part load, and the overall efficiency of the system actually goes down. On our design, we actually function more like a diesel, where you don't really throttle the engine. You leave it wide open, and you keep the efficiency running very high, even on highway driving. And the air tank for the air hybrid weighs very little. So you have, yes, big gain in urban driving, but we maintain the advantage on highway driving, unlike an electric system.
In the electric hybrid system, you're basically dragging the battery with you on the highway. It's doing absolutely nothing for you at that point in time. So In this situation, it's perfect, yes, for urban, but it's great for any drive cycle, for any size vehicle, anywhere.
For the technology to become global, of course, it has to be marketed by global companies. You are, I believe, in discussions with well-known car manufacturers. We appreciate you can't discuss the specific names, but what has their reaction been to this?
They've been very well. Once we've broken through to the correct people, the inner core of the engineers that really understand the technology, they've been very welcoming once they've signed the non-disclosure agreement and have met with us and the Southwest research engineers. And they've been working with us because they're as anxious as we are to buy in. It's this big of a deal. I mean, this is going to impact them, a core technology for some of the biggest companies in the world. This is a big deal to them, and they made that clear to us. So they're anxious to meet us and continually move forward with us and to eventually license.
And it has been a process. I mean, we've been at this since really 2001. We've been in discussions with many of the major OEMs for several years. They're obviously very large companies. They are cautious. They do a lot of due diligence, understanding who we are, understanding our technology, looking at how they would apply it to their products. So we've had to work our way through the system, but we're at a point now where we've got a lot of very high-level interest from a lot of very large companies, and we're confident that we will have license agreements with some very large companies in the very near future.